Hi, my name is Brian. I'm a business owner here in South Florida, and what I've done is summarize a little bit about the company that I am about to sell, and we are about to go over a business plan for sales, and this is just a little bit about the introduction of this company, so I'm going to explain. Business owner Brian Bailey. I wrote this on 1/16/2018. Company owner Brian Bailey has been in Blackwater commercial diving industry since 2006. Blackwater Dive Experts are a service company specializing in suction line cleaning and maintenance underwater. Our main goal is to complete this process, allowing maximum flow of water to the irrigation pump station. BDE has created a database of over 200 potential clients. Our target market is in property management and maintenance companies, also offering services such as wet well cleaning and repair for golf course maintenance industry. BDE has been operating in South Florida since April of 2016. We offer various kinds of contracts to complete with the market cost. Now using the latest technology in underwater cameras, making it possible to share the work being completed for the eye of the client and our viewers. Our divers are now available and can be reached online using Facebook, YouTube, website, and LinkedIn. As you take the time to look into this book of information I've created sharing the value and growth of this company, you'll find a system that works for both the client and business owner. Thank you for taking the time to learn about BDE and our company goals. Okay, here's what I'm working on that I'd like to share. I'm working on selling a business. It's a commercial diving company, and it's here in South Florida. And what I've had to do is create some documentation. Over the last few days, I've been putting some stuff together, trying to have a presentation to speak with a potential client or a potential buyer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some stuff, and it's very specified to the commercial diving company. But what you might be able to do is if there's anybody out there that is going to have to do something similar to what I'm doing right now, they might be able to take some of the information, and this is just strictly to try to help some other people out there who might be potentially selling their business, and they've got to go over some stuff to prepare for a meeting. Also, for any business students out there who might be in accounting or business, and they can just reflect on real life businesses that are taking place. This business has just been open for just under 2 years. I've recently injured myself, so of course I am trying to move on to another company, and I'll be stepping out of the water. But of course, as the business owner, it is still my responsibility to decide what we are going to do with the company. So in this case, I am looking to sell the company because I've already created some contracts with signatures. So here we go. Name of the company, Blackwater Dive Experts, business sale plan. First things first, we are going to want to talk about the debt that the company has or has created, and you're going to want to share this with the potential buyer or the client. Now, of course, you're going to want to let them know any information that's going on, because the more open you are and the more honest you are, the easier it would be for somebody to trust you and also move forward, that they understand that you are going to take care of these debts, whether you do it before you collect the down payment or payment for the company, or immediately thereafter collecting any income on the first initial payment. So, all right, debt to be paid, you're going to want to list them all in detail with the numbers. I have kept the numbers discreet, obviously, to share this online. So here we go. Here's the paperwork that you're going to need to bring. And the first one, both parties need to sign the non-disclosure agreement. This is just so that whatever information you were talking about amongst both the parties, stays within this meeting. And after that meeting, you can't carry that information along with you and start spreading the word about it. So here we go. Non-disclosure agreement, letter of intent, purchase agreement, assignment of leases, assignment of licenses, seller consulting agreement, asset acquisition statement, and transfer of contracts. There we go. You're going to want to gather those and have a few contracts ready because there's going to be some reading going on. All right. Here are the most important documents that you will need to have ready and due for due diligence. You're going to need to prove that you own the company. You don't want to sell somebody else's company. Proof of business ownership. Your business licenses for your county or town and state. Payroll summaries for 1 year. Outstanding accounts payable, outstanding accounts receivable. Current loan documentation. Lease contracts, sales contracts. Details of all chargebacks or owner's salary in your financials. Profit and loss statements. Cash flow statements and balance sheets. Okay. Doesn't sound like much, but it will take a minute to gather all this information and get it ready. Okay, here's a creative list of something that I wrote. It's preparing for the meeting, and it's a list of some things that I would like to discuss with the potential buyer. Of course, in this case, I like to write things out. It's going to help me obviously be more organized for the meeting and go over it a few times prior to us sitting down and sharing some information. So first, step 1, introduction of both parties and request the buyer to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Again, we've been over this, and this just involves very simply that you're not going to carry any of that information outside the meeting. Everything you guys discuss is going to obviously be left there at that meeting, and carrying forth, you are going to obviously be a good person and not share any of that information. Step 2, open discussion of interest and depth of continuing to proceed forward to a closing contract. After signing this, you're going to want to talk a little bit about your company openly, and maybe share some information about both of you so that you could start to build a trust factor. So this way, that person can feel you out, you could feel them out, and start to see if you guys might be able to even work together, or if you maybe have a great business relationship coming for the future. Fourth, so step 3, ask the buyer for personal financial summary and credit score. Anybody who is serious, just like getting a mortgage, they are going to come forth with any information to continue moving forward on purchasing what you might be selling. Step 4, share the asking value for BDE. Okay, we're going to go over business value, how business is valued. Think of a business as a stream of cash. They value a business by trying to come up with a value for that stream of cash. Revenue is the crudest approximation of a business worth. For instance, a business might typically sell for 2 times its sales or 1 times its sales. That's 2 different ways to come up with the value of your business right there based on sales. It's a pretty fairly easy calculation. All right, so how do you calculate the value of business? Use the rule of thumb valuation method. Take your small business yearly positive cash flow and multiply it by 4. For example, if your small business generates a positive cash flow of $60,000 per year, it would have valued $240,000 by using the rule of thumb formula. Again, very simple formula. You're going to take the net of the company. Keyword, positive cash flow. This is basically, after you have paid everything, what is your cash flow? Multiply that times 4, and there you will have the value of your business. Here we have just put some numbers in here so that we could, create a formula, and hopefully this helps you create your formula for your business and come out with the proper value. Step 5, explain how you can create income for the buyer to replace their investments to positive cash flow. This is the only reason that somebody would want to purchase your company or invest with you, is to create cash flow. People want to grow, and you're going to have to share how do you do this? What is the magical mystery that you've come up with to create cash income? Valued income. Present income on 5-year maintenance contracts. These are contracts that we already have and we're going to transfer over to the potential buyer. Annual maintenance sales without contracts. These are based on invoices. They didn't sign a contract, but they do have us come out and complete a maintenance on their property. Of course, I've used some realistic numbers in here of the last year of 2017 so that we can come up with an income total. So we got $5,280. That's going to be contracted work. And then without contracts, $15,470. Brings us a grand total of $20,750. Step 6. Share some ideas on collecting income by percent. One way would be collecting 5% of BDE's annual gross. I'm going to explain. This is very simple. You are going to sell your company and you would still like to collect income as the potential. You are the creator of this company and you're going to sell it to someone else. And you would still like to receive income on your creation, thus years come forth. So that means 5% of whatever the next person is continuing to roll, you're going to collect annually 5%. Now, there's a couple of ways this could take place. One, you could do as a silent partner, and two, you can be very much involved with the company, and then you need to break something down a little more into detail, like what is your position? Because if you're going to be part of the company, then you have to explain and find the details of what do you do for the company. If not, you are a silent partner and you're basically you're holding 5%. Now, another way would be collecting 3% of an annual merge. Okay, this is if you're going to sell to a established company and the established company already has a trademark and has a logo and they want to continue using that, but they want to purchase your contracts falling under their logo. So you're going to merge. With this merge taking place, obviously you are stepping into somebody else's creation. And if you are going to ask for an annual percentage, it can't be as high as the percentage you are going to ask for with your own creation. So you then, of course, are going to lower. So this is where we come up with 3% on an annual merge. And again, this is my own opinion. This is my own creation. And I am just sharing my information to help anybody out there who has to come up and create formulas for themselves for two companies coming together. Not only that, creating your own contracts. So in this case, that pretty much breaks it down. Another way would be collecting 3% of annual on the merge, which this is two companies combining, and you have to come up with the paperwork on the details of this. Most people would do this attached to a contract as a Part A. This would mean after 90 days, I would still be a part of helping the company grow out of the office by telecommunication. That's very simple. This means your position. In this case, I am offering to continue helping the company outside of the office for a percentage through telephone and of course, creating whatever need be, whether it be information or something that I can create on the laptop to help that company grow, because I am still a part of the company and I would like to see my percentage go up as well as everybody else's. Step 7, share some ideas on collecting income based on selling new 5-year contracts. Okay, I based everything on the lowest cost, which was, I think, the best way to go about it, so that anything we could make is going to be higher than this. This is all based on lowest cost of things we have already done in the company in the last 20 months and is already proven. So it's very important. Fact and being able to prove is where you're going to catch somebody's attention, and that's where you're going to be able to share your information solid. So this is what has taken place the last 20 months. Share some ideas on collecting income based on selling new 5-year contract. Okay, let's review lowest cost contracts. I created this formula based on the contracts that I created, and this formula is how to one, collect cash income, which is going to grow the company, but two, how this is going to be divvied up through the company so that other people can help us with these contracts, and everybody has to have a part. One, we have the guys in the field. They're collecting hourly labor out there knocking these projects out. We have the people in the sales office, and they're going to be paid on hourly labor and also a percentage on sales, because you've got to have motivation for people. If you don't have a way for them to motivate, there's no reason for them to come to work and get a little more excited. They have to have that. So this is what I have done to create it, and I know because I have worked for others, now owning my own company, but I have worked for others, and I do understand the only way for any motivation out there is you have to feel like you can advance. So I want people to advance right away. I don't want them to have to wait very long. If you know how to do your job, I want you to come to work more positive and go home more positive, knowing that you are growing with you and your family. So, okay, here's where we're at. Okay, let's review lowest cost contracts at $660. Each visit, semi-annual, after 5 years equals $6,600. The salesperson would collect 10%, equaling $66 per visit. This is based on lowest income projects, meaning our sales team has the opportunity to grow. You are giving your sales team incentive. If you are paying commission, then there's the reason for them to want to sell more for your company. I really think everybody on the ladder should understand that. I'm sure they do, but I also understand people are out there for to grow a business. In this case, I would like to grow people who would like to collect income just as well as I would. Step 8, business consulting fee. 90-day trial in office, $6,000 to be discussed. This is a price that I am just putting up there to share with you, the watcher, and it is a very fair price for a consulting fee to come into the office and share all of your information, carrying over, attempting to sell your company. So during this period, there's no hourly pay. I am just typing this up so that there's details amongst both parties so that they can understand exactly what is going to take place during the meeting. You want to be very specific, and this is just a very short summary that I've created for myself, but also, again, I hope this can help others. Job to be completed, sharing any information provided to help with the growth and back office of the company. Continuing to edit using Adobe Premiere Pro, marketing, sales, and media in Office. These are the few various things that we're using to collect media, break it down, and then share it amongst the web. Step 9. After 90 days is completed, then we decide how to proceed forward. Assuming we move forward holding our positions as is, I will ask for hourly pay that is logged in or out of the office at $20 an hour with commission % on sales contracts. Again, just some details. I've logged some numbers in there so that just brings open discussion to the meeting. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're locked in, and this is just something to start coming to an agreement. So, step 10, come to an agreement that works for both parties, create a detailed document on how to carry out the business transaction, and decide will we merge two companies or grow the existing trademark BDE logo. Step 11, Share some ideas on the existing semi-annual 5-year contracts in the months of April and October and how they will be handled. These are the contracts that we already have, and we're going to want to make sure that we are still, keeping it up above the bar out there in the field. So whoever takes hold of these contracts, we are going to want to make sure that we can, share the information and how we were doing it so that they can, either follow the path or make sure that while leading their own path, they're at least going to be on the same page. Step 12, go over what was taking place in the field with details on what type of tools and equipment are being used. Very simple. I had done some creative thinking to create some of my own tools and attaching them together. And, with the camera work, we wanted to make sure we were receiving the right shots. So, of course, this took a little bit of, extra time in the warehouse building a few things. And that's where that line comes into play. Step 13, discuss what paperwork was created for our divers to fill out per pump station. That's what we do. We work on pump stations, and the divers need to fill out certain stuff. And, of course, this paperwork had to be created. And we wanted to make sure that all this, is getting labeled correctly and filled out correctly. What are the findings? And this is very specified to our company. What your company does, documenting it per work order is very important, because if your client has any questions, they're going to ask, and you are going to want to have an answer. Step 14, open discussion on or about dredging and how it was carried out. Again, this is very similar to 13, but we're being more detailed on a specific work order. Step 15, explain how the media was collected and how to carry it over to the web. Now, I use a few different programs, and in this case, obviously, it's expected that somebody is going to work in office doing the social media, and in this case, we're going to want to explain in detail how we are doing it, because we have created a company that has a folder file, and in that folder file, it's when you open us up on our page, it's basically sharing everything that our company has done since day one. This is very rare to find. I haven't found any other companies that are sharing their information online where every job to be completed is logged in with video so that you can see it online. Step 16, set a deadline on making an offer, signing any contracts, and closing a deal. This means you're pretty much coming close to the end. You've agreed on some type of price and payment plan. Step 17, have hope and faith. And that pretty much concludes this simple little lesson plan that I've tried to go over. I hope this helps everybody out there, and have a great day. Bye-bye.